All right, here with my fellow Commonwealth brother, Michael Bisping. Obviously, task at hand, Saturday night, Prudential Center, Alan Belcher. A lot of lead up in this fight here.
Correct.
Are you upset with this guy, or is it just business when you get to the octagon?
A little bit of both, you know. I mean, the thing that really upset me was he made a string of videos and whatever, you know, good for him. But he made a video where he superimposed himself on the screen of when Dan Henderson knocked me out, and he's pointing and he's laughing. He's literally doubled over, laughing his head off at a fighter getting knocked out. And I just think that was pretty low. I mean, he should know better as a fighter, as a fellow fighter himself. I just thought that was disgusting. I mean, when I watch a boxing match, a MMA match, UFC, whatever, you know, if somebody knocks somebody out, yes, I admire the skill and technique that went into doing that. I don't take pleasure at seeing a fellow fighter on the floor unconscious, you know, and, you know, it's a cruel mistress. This is the sport we're involved in. But for him to be making fun of somebody knocked out, you know, I just thought it was pretty low, you know, and it did. It upset me. So I'm going to teach him the error of his ways on Saturday night.
Well, you definitely rebounded from that Dan Henderson fight. With that being said,
he's never fought anybody of that caliber anyway. You know, he's been getting beat by guys like Jason Day and Akiyama. Well, I've been beating him in the first round. So, you know, for him to be making fun of stuff like that is stupid. He's never fought a legend. He's never fought a former champion. You know, he's been fighting mid-card guys his entire career. The one time he's in a co-main event is when he's fighting me. So he should be very thankful, really, and give me a percentage of his purse.
Were you surprised, though, when he lost the second time to Yushin Okami?
Well, you know, I wasn't surprised when he lost because Alan Belcher can't wrestle. You know, I know he's training with some guy called Ben Askren, SpongeBob, well, no, what's his name? Not SpongeBob SquarePants. What's it? Sideshow Bob from The Simpsons. But he got out-wrestled. He can't wrestle. And now he's saying that for that fight against Yushin Okami, he wasn't prepared. He was in bad condition. That's just the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life. I know myself as a fighter, if somebody holds a victory over you and you get a chance to redeem that victory, you're going to train hard. So don't tell me that you weren't in shape. You got beat because he was a better fighter, period.
Going back to the fight with Vitor Belfort, what are some of the lessons learned in that fight that you don't make versus Alan Belcher?
Well, there was many lessons learned, you know. I mean, over the years, I started off as a kickboxer, and when I got into the UFC, every time I threw a kick, they'd catch my leg and take me down. And obviously we don't have a wrestling background in the UK, so you know, I was very aware of being taken down. So I kind of slowly but surely started abandoning my kickboxing, and I'm a better kickboxer than when I am a boxer, to be honest. Even though I'm a good boxer, I'm better when I use my legs as well. And over the years, I just stopped using it more and more. And then when I fought Vitor Belfort, he's known for his explosive hands, so I focused on that so much. And then obviously, you know, a kick to the head was the finishing blow for me. So I've addressed that problem. There's a few things that I was doing wrong. I've made a lot of changes in my camp, actually. You know, some new coaches, more discipline between fights. I didn't put any weight on. I was overtraining. You know, it was structured all wrong. So I've made many changes, and they will be evident Saturday night.
In breaking down this fight on UFC Central, I made it clear that if there's one intangible that people aren't paying attention to is the pace that you bring to a fight. And I don't know if Alan can deal with that pace. Although he pushes paces in his fights, you have a different sort of in and out. Even actually, George St. Pierre and I talked about it, and he's very impressed with the fact that you're hard to figure out in terms of where you're going at all times. You're in, you're out, and then you're down to the ground, then you're back up. So how important is pace in this fight versus a guy like Alan?
Well, not just with a guy like Alan. Pace is always important. And this is another change that I've made mentally, and I'm going to be doing this on Saturday night. In my early fights, I used to push such an incredible pace right at the start because I knew guys could keep up with it for 30 seconds, a minute, and then they start making mistakes and then they get beat. And I used to finish all my fights in the first round. Obviously, as the competition's got higher and the stakes have got higher, you know, that hasn't been happening, and I've probably tried to be more of a strategic fighter as well. So I've got to go back to that inner animal, and I'm going to be doing that on Saturday night. And I'm going to push a hard pace. I'm going to get in his face right from the start. He thinks, and he's been saying, that I'm a points fighter and I tap dance around. If he thinks I'm going to be tap dancing around him on Saturday night, he's in for a big mistake. Sorry, he's in for a big shock, believe you me.
You mentioned the inner animal, but it's an inner animal like everyone else that has to make sacrifices to get where they have to be in their career. Can you talk about, you know, your son's birthday is I believe it's today.
Yeah, it's my son's 12th birthday, so happy birthday, Callum. Love you, Lord. Sorry I can't be there. You know, listen, sacrifice, everyone's got to make sacrifices to get where you are, you know, and fortunately my son is a great kid and he understands the bigger picture. You know, that's one sacrifice. You know, I missed my daughter's birthday earlier in the year, but that's what you've got to do to get ahead in life. And certainly now, I mean, I'm missing his birthday. I'm stood here 2 days before a huge fight, talking to you fine people. You know, it wasn't too long ago, really. I was sleeping in a car, you know, with this much snow on the roof because I couldn't afford a hotel, and I was training in another city overnight, you know. So the sacrifices have paid off, you know. You don't get anything handed to you in this life. You've got to work for it. I've certainly worked hard, and I'm going to continue to do so. And as long as there's life in my body, I'm going to keep trying for that belt.
And unfortunately for guys like me, you're already setting the stage for your next career. I see a blazer, nice shirt, the dress shoes. You're an analyst. Do I have to start making videos to call you out now to keep you away from what I'm doing?
Well, what can I say? I just like to dress nice, you know. I mean, I'm a professional sportsman, and I like to represent myself in the sport well. Represent the UK, of course. We're a dapper gentleman, and yeah, you know. But yeah, I mean, come on, make an effort, man. What's going on? What, Converse or something? Come on, let's get this off.
There you have it, Michael Bisping taking on Alan Belcher Saturday night, UFC 159, Prudential Center in New Jersey.